All right, everyone. Today we are going to be going over some updates on a case in Colorado Springs, Colorado of human trafficking. Now, I talked a little bit about this a few days ago. However, at the time, I did not have very much information on it. And so the limited amount of information I had, I did my best to sum up the details and moved on to other topics. But today, we have a little bit more details on this particular subject matter and this case. It was it centers around a Colorado Springs man by the name of Laqueur Evans. Okay, Laqueur Evans. He's an African American male who was arrested in January of this year, 2023, on suspicion of human trafficking. Now, he is currently being held in the El Paso County Jail on a $10,000 bond. El Paso County is the county in which Colorado Springs, Colorado is located, and he currently is being held on a $10,000 bond there. He apparently is alleged to have had 6 victims, one of whom escaped, and he apparently solicited most of these victims through social media, particularly Instagram. Now, I found that particularly interesting because usually in human trafficking cases, you would assume that the offenders would lure their victims in using things like Facebook or Snapchat or possibly Twitter or something like that. Maybe even chat rooms of some sort. But he used Instagram, which tends to be a website that focuses mostly around photographs of individuals and so forth. So I'm assuming that what he was doing was he was probably posting photos of somebody that would tempt women or whoever it was that he was soliciting into agreeing to meet with him or his colleagues in order to agree to perform the duties that he was soliciting them for. So the details of exactly what duties and so forth he was soliciting people for is a little bit unknown. It could have been a sex trafficking case, but it could also have involved labor of some sort, at which case it wouldn't necessarily matter what the individuals looked like or what their age was, as long as they were able to perform the labor duties that he was soliciting them for. But we do know now that he is being held probably still at the El Paso County Jail, most likely located somewhere near the El Paso County Courthouse, which I am currently near at the moment. And he is being held on a $10,000 bond. He has had a few victims, one of whom has escaped, and probably relayed a whole lot of information about what was going on to authorities when she managed to escape and get some help. And I think it is known at this point that the victim who escaped is a female, but it is unknown whether all of his 6 victims were females or if they were mixed gender. We do not know that at this time. But, so there is little by little information coming out on this case. Now, it does coincide with some of the efforts of law enforcement in Colorado and the El Paso County region, such as including the heavy recruitment being done by the Colorado Springs Police Department. And as I touched upon a little, I did not go into much detail, though, in a previous recording, the Colorado Springs Police Department is recruiting, and the evidence has come out that they are trying to recruit mostly female police officers or women into the police force. And the reason for this is because they are trying to They are trying to get the people that can conduct effective and successful rape kit testing on sex offender and pedophile suspects. And as you can guess, a female officer is much better at being able to do that than a male officer. It is known that back when the rape kit testing was first coming out, that male officers tended to be used to do the rape kit tests on pedophile and sex offender suspects. However, they were not able to extract all the necessary DNA from rape and sex offender suspects, particularly semen samples, which is necessary when doing investigations to be able to link suspects to the crime committed when it involves a sex offense. And because they were not, the reason they were not able to successfully extract semen samples was naturally because the suspects, of course, were male, and most of them tended to be straight men, and so obviously a straight male is going to get off much more so when, being touched and so forth by a woman than they would by a man. And so, being that the male officers were conducting the rape kit tests, it was very hard to extract the semen samples that the officers needed from the suspects. And so what they started doing is they started having female officers conduct the rape kit tests instead, and the female officers were much better able to extract semen samples from the suspects, as well as samples for other types of samples as well. But the semen samples was the biggest challenge, and what they found was that when they had female officers conducting the tests, that they were able to get the semen samples a lot easier than they were when they had the male officers doing the testing. And that bears to reason, and it's common sense, but it took a few years or so for law enforcement to realize that and come to that reality and conclusion. And so what is likely the case is that the Colorado Springs Police Department is recruiting, but they are trying to recruit more women onto the police force, and it's most likely because they need more women to conduct the rape kit testing so that they can obtain the semen samples that they need to be able to link sex offender suspects and so forth to the crimes that they are being charged with. Okay, and that is the main reason, most likely, that there is heavy recruitment being done right now for the Colorado Springs Police Department. Okay, and the main reason that that rape kit tests the necessity for rape kit testing is going up is because there is a growing presence of sex offenses occurring in Colorado Springs, particularly with sex trafficking and other forms of human trafficking, but in particular sex trafficking. And we know that, for one, from this case of this African-American male, LaCur Evans, who was arrested in January for suspected human trafficking, and he is allegedly still being held at the El Paso County Jail on a $10,000 bond. Now, not a whole lot more information is known about him at this time. Whether all the necessary testing and evidence gathering and so forth has been concluded or not, we do not know, or we do not have that information at this time. Law enforcement probably has that information right now, but until they are ready to release it to the public, we merely have speculation to go on. But yes, that is the current news on the situation. And of course, if you have any further information, I have posted links to the human trafficking hotline on this video, as well as the phone number to the Colorado Springs Police Department. And right at the moment, the website for CSPD is not currently available, but as soon as it becomes available, I will be letting everyone know so that you can go to that website as well. But in the meantime, if you need to reach law enforcement anywhere, either in your community or Colorado Springs or El Paso County in general, you can contact them via the links and the information in this video at the bottom. I do appreciate your time, and again, this is a very important situation, and it is necessary that we do everything we can to combat this growing threat of human trafficking, particularly sex trafficking and other sexual offenses that are growing throughout the country and the world, and more surprisingly, in the once was the traditional town of Colorado Springs, Colorado. That's about all. Peace out.